Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the recently released Epstein files, but specifically a connection that has intelligence agencies on high alert. You know, after millions of pages of documents were released, a question that was once considered pure conspiracy is now being asked at the highest levels. Could this entire, vast network of compromise have actually been an instrument for a foreign power?
Get this. In the newly declassified files, the word Russia is mentioned nearly 6,000 times. That sheer volume alone tells you there's a pretty significant thread here that's worth pulling.
And it doesn't stop there. The name Putin appears over 1,000 times. And look, these aren't just passing mentions. They're woven right into correspondence and internal notes. This just raises some really serious questions about what the true nature of Epstein's operation was.
So, to really understand why this is all so significant, we need to take a look at a classic intelligence playbook, a method that's been perfected over decades.
It's called a honey trap, a favorite, time-tested weapon of Russian intelligence services, from the old-school KGB all the way to the modern FSB. The whole point is to use these intimate situations to create compromising material, what they call compromat, for blackmail or influence down the line.
And this method has a long and frankly very successful history. It evolved from Cold War espionage, where KGB agents known as swallows would compromise Western diplomats into a tool for domestic political control in modern Russia. The tactics change, but the playbook stays the same.
And in recent years, these kinds of operations have basically become industrialized. We're moving way beyond one-off stings to a systemic feature of the entire power structure.
Okay, let's dive into this. A perfect example is the Reipkegate scandal. It really serves as a blueprint for how this all works.
The parallels here are just striking. You have a wealthy host, you have influential guests, and you have young women being used to create leverage. It almost makes Reipkegate feel like a local version of the global scheme that Epstein was running.
Now, what's really interesting is how we move from just seeing parallels to finding direct links between Epstein's network and Russian interests.
U.S. Treasury files documented 4,725 wire transfers from just one of Epstein's accounts, totaling over $1.1 billion. And where did it go? To Russian banks that were already under sanctions for human trafficking.
Then you have the people involved. Folks with direct Kremlin ties were deep inside Epstein's inner circle. People like Maria Drakova, a former pro-Putin activist who was literally working on his public image and even suggested ways for him to get access to more ambitious women.
And then there's his final partner, Karina Shuliak. She inherited a fortune, including that infamous island, and she was on the other end of his final phone call from prison. Her central role here definitely raises some serious questions about her own role and potential connections.
And this right here illustrates a direct quid pro quo. Correspondence shows an FSB-linked official and Epstein exchanging favors. Epstein needs help with the Russian model, and within 3 days, boom, a complete dossier on her appears. In return, Epstein advises him on how to use crypto to get around U.S. sanctions. It's a clear trade.
All right, let's move to our final section and see how all of this builds into a major national security concern for Western nations.
So here's the crucial point. Whether this was an FSB operation from the very beginning or just one that they saw and co-opted along the way, the end result is exactly the same. You've got a potential treasure trove of compromising material on some of the world's most powerful people, political leaders, business magnates, tech innovators, and it's very likely in the hands of an adversarial power. And this explains why countries like Poland, who know the Russian playbook all too well, have actually launched their own investigations into all of this. They see this for exactly what it is, a hidden arsenal. The story is far from over, and it leaves us with a final, pretty chilling thought. If this arsenal of secrets really exists, the real question isn't if it will be used, but when and how.